Well, good afternoon, West Ham fans. So there appears to be a bit of confusion about Lucas Paqueta'S legal team. A very good Thursday afternoon to you all. Hope everyone is safe and well. Keeping dry and keeping safe for our East Coast US hammers and viewers. Stay safe, guys, out there. If you can hear me, probably can't even see this because there's been like power cuts across, particularly the Florida region. Obviously, we've got a lot of West Ham fans there, so as well as obviously everyone else. Stay safe. But in terms of obviously we're in the international break, and so things like admin get in play. And obviously, one of the big headaches we've got in the going into the next new year, rather from obviously March onwards, now not January, is the Lucas Paqueta hearing. Now, obviously, Anton spoke about it the other day with the FA pushing for a lifetime ban and extra charges because he basically changed his phone. You know, I changed my phone, and I'm not a multi-million-pound football player. So, um, nowadays you need a phone, don't you? Otherwise, you feel like your left arm's been taken off. But a report in the Sun, which has been since rubbished by West Ham, talks about West Ham. Basically recruiting the lawyer who helped Leicester avoid a points deduction in the Premier League. According to the newspaper yesterday, it claimed that Nick DiMarco, KC, a top lawyer, has been hired by the club as part of their attempt to clear Lucas Paqueta of the 4 counts of spot fixing. Now, Nick's got quite a proven track record against football authorities, and suggested that by bringing him in, the Hammers will be aiming for like a very robust defence, unlike the team, like the first team, and possibly even charging the FA's judiciary system in terms of the sort of validity of the evidence. Obviously, you've had a situation this week with the Premier League and Man City. As I said, it's going to be up in March. It was originally January, but it's been pushed back to March, where legal arguments will be presented by both sides. And obviously, the Lucas Paqueta'S legal team will be scrutinising the investigative methods that the FA have been using, and the evidence linking the 27-year-old to betting patterns. And basically arguing the absence of any intent or knowledge on his part on this. However, regardless of the article itself, West Ham have not hired the lawyer. That's according to a senior source via Claret and Hugh, saying basically they've denied, and in fact, it is not the club's job to be providing legal aid to Lucas. It's actually Lucas's team who hires their own legal team, not the club. Now, it's not saying that Lucas's team will not hire Nick, and would probably make good sense to do so, to be honest, considering his track record, but it certainly isn't something hired by the club themselves in terms of that sort of legal representation. It's going to be, I mean, it's a bit of a clusterfuck, isn't it? To be honest, it seems anything to do with the Premier League and charges and the FA always seems to take forever, and there's always legal challenges. You've had a thing this week with Man City in the Premier League where both have claimed to have won the case, which seems a bit like a boxer at the end of where they've had a bit of a fight, and they both think they've won before they get the points decision. Until we get the points decision in terms of literally the 115 charges. Obviously, this was nothing to do with the 115 charges themselves per se, but a couple of sponsorship deals with various organisations potentially associated with Man City. But it does seem that we're dragging our heels even more. Now, obviously, the worry for me is being pushed from January to March. In January, we still have the potential to bring someone in if we need to cover him. I don't think we need to bring cover in. I think we've got enough, and obviously we've been seeing the progress of Luis Guilherme, particularly in, his the club have been putting a lot of stuff out about him recently. So, to me, that seems that they're trying to push the narrative of him, being the young pretender coming through. But obviously, with that being in January, we would still have the opportunity to maybe get a loan deal in or explore possibilities. With this being moved to March, obviously we guarantee having Lucas for another 2 months, kind of 2.5 months. But the possibility is we could be left really short if he's found guilty. Although I'm sure if he is found guilty, there would be no doubts an appeal against that, which may prolong it. I mean, Ivor Toney was over a year, wasn't he, before they actually gave him the ban? And it could be a similar situation with Lucas potentially. Um, for me, it's the not knowing that frustrates me, because the likelihood is whatever happens in March, we probably won't see Lucas next season. Whether that's because he's been banned or whether a side like Man City come in for him, which obviously they've been sniffing around him for the last couple of years. He's 27 though now, so he's sort of, for someone like Man City to spend a lot of money, you would imagine he'd be a couple of years younger than him, possibly. I don't know, but it's for me. It's again just shows the hypocrisy of football. It shows why does everything take so long? Do you know what I mean? It's like a band-aid. Just we want to rip the band-aid off either side, so we know what we can do. We know how we can move forward. Particularly, for a pivotal player like Lucas, he's pivotal in our side at the moment. And we've seen, it was the Fulham game. He was on the pitch and we were awful. He came on and we looked a different side. But I think they're splitting hairs now. You've got a situation where obviously there's extra charges because he hasn't got the phone anymore, despite the fact he'd handed it over. Now, why that? Surely that's totally dismissible in a court of law already. But anyway, that's enough legal jargon, legal stuff. As I said, keep an eye at Hammer's headlines. We're going to be talking about Nicholas Füllkrug and the mystery surrounding his injury, and maybe West Ham have got a backup ready option for January if it's worse than we thought. Yeah. And obviously international break as well. Next week should have a couple of really good My Hammers 11 interviews or ex-player interviews coming up. So please keep an eye on the channel, particularly Monday, Tuesday. Should be a good one. Should be a bit of a chef's kiss. And until next time, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, and come on you irons.